In today's video, we are gonna mod this pedal right here. Some of you might remember this. It's a kit from musikding. It's a Rat clone, and I am actually sort of unhappy with it. I've played it for a while since I built it. Don't remember when that was. It's sometime last year, and I just I don't know. I just never really bonded with it. I like the way it looks. I like the way I like the knobs, but the way it sounds doesn't work for me. And so today we're going to talk a little bit about something that I think is important, and that is modding pedals. Now, you might have pedals like, for example, this one right here, and you want to mod them, and that can actually get kind of complicated to do. And that is because as we look at schematics and we look at the circuit boards and things like that, we might not be able to find the schematic for the pedal that we're trying to work on. This is just an example that I'm holding up because everyone knows what this is. Most likely this one you can find online, something that is the actual right thing, but you never really know. But when you buy a pedal kit like this one, you get the schematics and the parts list, and you get everything you need. And so you will know that what you're looking at is the same thing as what you're building. Yeah, it's the same thing as what you're seeing and what you're getting. And with something you find online, you never know what it is. So you might have the pedal, you might have it open, but it might not actually be the schematic you find. It might be some variant, an old version, or just someone who didn't actually know what they were doing, and they shared it with you. It can be kind of hard. And another thing is that if you open up a pedal like this, it's the old version that has the big component, something that looks more like a pedal kit, whilst this version has super tiny parts that are soldered on top of the PCB instead of through hole, like a kit will have. And you can still mod these pedals, and we're gonna actually mod this pedal at some point because I kind of want to do it, but it's more fiddly, it's more complicated, and yeah, it just takes a little bit more from you. Let's jump into this a little bit closer now and take a look. So the first thing is that you should play the pedal. Put the pedal kit together and play the pedal, and after a while you'll figure out what it is that you think is good and what you think is bad. Analyze what you're hearing, basically. If you've seen my how to start building pedals, you will see that this is sort of what I'm talking about there. So we're sort of doing one of the steps that I shared with you in that video. I'm gonna glance through this a little bit because this is more of a video introducing you into this, and then I'm gonna do a more deep dive video later. So if you feel like there's things that maybe I glance over and things that you want me to go deeper into, tell me those things in the comment, because yeah, this is sort of an introduction to this, and we're gonna do it together is my plan later on. So yeah, here we have the pedal and here we have the circuit. Now, I've been playing the pedal, as I've already said, and there are some things that I've been thinking about that I don't like about it. And by analyzing it and thinking about it, I've drawn some conclusions of what I'm gonna do. And the first thing that I don't like is how it clips. I think that the pedal is a bit too tight and that I need something that lets through more. And that will mean that I get a more open sort of clipping instead of this too squashed sort of clipping that I have here. That's what I think from looking at this and playing it. So I'm going to switch out the diodes. If we look at the schematics, which we have here, we can see that there they are. And I have no real opinion about these diodes. They are 1N914 diodes. But I think that if I change them out for my favorite diodes, which if you've been subscribed for a while, you already know which one those are. It's the BAT41. Then you know that most likely by switching those out, we will have something that I like more. Now, obviously, I've been experimenting with diodes for a while, so I kind of know what I like and what I don't like, and you should do the same thing. You can obviously switch out diodes for the same thing that I'm switching them out for, but you might not like it. You shouldn't follow along like die hard on the steps that I'm showing you. You should sort of, I don't know, let yourself be inspired. The next thing that I don't really like, that I'm thinking about doing something about, or I'm gonna do something about, I don't know why I said that, is the tone, or filter as it's called on this pedal and in this kit. I want more from it. To me, you either have the clear signal from your guitar, and when I say clear I mean all frequencies are going through, or you're muddying it up and making it more woolly. And I don't feel like this is giving me that. So we can see right here, there's the filter potentiometer, and it's 100K, and I'm thinking that I'm gonna see if I don't have 250K, and I'm gonna pop that in there instead, and I'm gonna experiment and just see what it does and how it sounds. And the good thing here is that it's a pedal kit. If I don't like it, I can just switch things back. I just keep the parts. I already know what parts are in it because I have the parts list and I have the schematic right here. And what's good with some of these, you'll also get a picture of the PCB. So you can actually look here and see, okay, well that part is there, and in the schematics it's there, and then you can like follow along, basically. We're gonna talk more about this in another video. I'm glancing through things here, but that's just because I'm hoping this is gonna be a little bit more fun. And yeah, let's take a look on the inside of the pedal real quick now. Okay, so here is the inside of the pedal. Here's the PCB and the in and out, the power, the 3 little pots, and the PCB here obviously, and there's the foot switch with the LED right there. And this is basically all you get in the kit. There's nothing special or weird. The only thing that is not included in the kit is this enclosure, this vintage style thing, and obviously these knobs. They're also sold separately. But now let's take a look at the circuit a little bit closer and see what we have to do. Okay, so we are going to replace these two first, and that's not going to be that hard to do, and it's not going to be that hard to find. But for example, I might want to replace either this capacitor right here, the C7, or I might want to replace this resistor right here, the R7. And the parts are obviously already sorted in place, so it might be a little bit hard to find them, but I can match them up with this picture right here, and I can see that C7 is right here and R7 is right here, and then I can just look at this PCB and see exactly where they are and match them up, and then I could desolder them. Now those are close parts directly linked to the filter pot or tone pot, so I might want to change the values of those. I don't really know yet if that's going to be necessary, because I don't mind the filter control that much, but I might have to go in and do something about those, change the values a little bit just to muddy it up, or woolly it up as I like to think of it, because I don't think of it as being muddy. But yeah, anyway, let's jump to the pedal. Okay, so it's kind of easy to find and locate them, because as you can see here, we have 2 diodes right there, and they're marked by the marking on them being opposite, just like they are marked here on the paper. And we just need to use our solder sucker, which is this tool right here. It has a hollow little tip, and it has this button that you press, and it sucks out solder. And we're just gonna try to clean these holes up as much as we can and just suck everything out and get them cleaned out so that we can put the legs of the new parts in and just, you know, replace the parts. So I've taken out the 2 diodes, and now I'm putting them in their own little zip bag, and on it I've written the name of them and also where they come from. If you know where you take parts out from, you can just write the name. So that's why it just says the name of it and Rat. And the reason why I'm doing that is just because it will help me later down the line. The parts are not bad. I don't need to throw them away. I can use them for something else. Who knows? But also, maybe I find out that I actually think that this clipping is worse and I want to put them back in. Then I know where they are and I can just put them back in. And I don't need to buy new parts just because I messed around and lost them. There they are now. It's a little bit hard to see maybe, but there they are. And they're just oriented the same way as the other one. And if you look at the PCB, which we'll do on this drawing of it right here, because they are in the way, you can see that there is a line, and that's the orientation it goes in. Okay, so the next part is replacing this pot right here. And it's actually going to be super easy. So, without any more fiddling around, let's just get to it. Okay, so changing out the pot is easy, but it can be a little bit fiddly. So I'm using my clamp hands, extra hands, clamps, whatever you want to call them, here. So, yeah, this is the old pot, this is the new pot, this is the 250K. And basically I just have to switch over this blue wire here, from that leg over to that leg. And the white wire here over to that leg, and the green one over there. And I'm gonna just take my soldering iron, put on a little bit of solder on it, and just heat up the connections and get the wires loose. Something like that. And now I'm just gonna add a little bit new solder, because one of them looks a little bit rough. And I'm just gonna try to feed them in their new hole. That one goes there, and that one goes there, and then the last one over here. And I just hold them in place a tiny bit longer once I've taken the solder iron off, and I hope to the old Viking gods that everything is connected. No, but we can actually test it. If you're unsure, which I am a little bit here because these are old pots and everything looks a little bit messy, you can take your multimeter and we put it to continuity mode, and we take our tips, and when they touch you hear a sound. And we can take one of them and hold to the side where the wire is and to this hole right here. And if we get a sound, they are connected. So, everything is good. And now I'm gonna put this pot right here to the side so that I can put it back on if I want to. But for now, I'm just gonna install this pot here back where the old pot used to be. So I'm just screwing it in place like so, and now it's there. And all I have to do is match up the old knobs with each other again, and I do that by moving them back to their place like so, and then just putting the knob on top, and I try to align it so it looks the way it's supposed to, and I put it back and tighten the screw like so. And now we can put the pedal back in place. And because I'm doing a non-standard thing here, where I don't mount the pot the way it's supposed to be, with the backing of this and everything looking neat and, you know, the way it's supposed to, which, I mean, I would recommend you do things that way, obviously, but it's hard to do that if you are going to do non-standard vintage enclosures. And if that's the case, you know, you have to come up with something smart so that nothing can circuit out on something. And I don't know if this is like a smart way of doing it, but it's the way I'm gonna do it. And that is just put this in a bag and put the bag over there. Now it's, you know, sealed in a plastic bag, and I can put the back of the pedal on and I can screw it in place. Something like that. Now I'm just gonna go and listen to the pedal, and hopefully it sounds better, nicer, cooler, and I'll be back in a bit when I've given it a thorough playthrough. Okay, so the pedal has been modded and played, and this is what I have to say. I really like it now. I think that the clipping has opened it up a little bit. It's not as squeezed as it was before. It's more loose now, and I prefer it that way. I'm not sure that the diodes in themselves has changed the texture of the clipping and the distortion in a way that is better, but I prefer it. And I also think that the values of them have changed. The amount of compression of the sound that is happening in the clipping, or rather how much it clips, is maybe a more accurate way of saying. So yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm also happy with the new filter. I feel like I don't necessarily need to go to max. It's a little bit too much, but I don't have a pot that is somewhere in between 100 and 250. So I don't know. I don't think 250 was necessarily the amount I needed, but I definitely think it's better. And I don't have any pots that are 150 or something like that laying around so I can experiment. But yes, I don't think I will ever play this pedal with that much of a tone, but that doesn't matter. I think it's better now. I like it more now. It's more what I wanted from the pedal. But if it's more or less a, Rat, I can't really say. If it was a Rat before, then Rats are maybe not really my thing. Now I feel like I'm able to get some more big muff sort of sounds, and I'm also able to get some little bit more, let's call them tube screamer sort of sounds. Maybe not exactly, but yeah, I feel like it's balancing out of there. I can sort of get into a little bit of a fuzzy sort of sound, the woolly fuzzy sound then, of course, and then I can go to the more clean, sharp tube screamer sort of deal and experiment in between. And yeah, I like it. Now I'm gonna, because I feel like I've been saying a lot of things about how awesome I feel like this pedal has gotten, but I really didn't like it before. Like, it was okay, but it was not something that I was actually planning on keeping, because I was actually sort of thinking maybe I'll get rid of it. But now I actually really like it. So yeah, because I'm saying all these things, and I think that maybe some of you are going to be like, ooh, he is, talking about this like he's created the most perfect pedal, which, no, I haven't. I've just made it work for myself a little bit better, made it into something that is a little bit more exciting for myself. So yeah, I don't know. I'm going to put in a sound clip here in the end, just so you can listen to what it sounds like now. And if you have the pedal or something similar and you want to mod it, maybe it can inspire you. Don't take it too much to heart, because I didn't really spend any time recording it, so it might not be a very good representation. I'm basically just putting it in because I'm pretty sure someone would nag me or get mad at me if I didn't put it in, because yeah, that's the way it is on YouTube. You either do it and people get mad at you, or you don't do it and people get mad at you. And you either play a really short bit of sound and people get mad at you because it's too short, or you play for really long and people get mad at you for playing too long. You either go crazy on the pedal or you play some standard thing. It doesn't even matter. You play some basic chord or a scale. It doesn't matter what you play. People get mad at you either way. So you have to focus on the important and interesting parts, which is that this is now more of a pedal that I like, and hopefully you agree with me that the most important thing is that I like my pedals, and hopefully they can inspire you to wanna mod your own pedals and find out what you really like. But that's gonna be the end of this video. So until next time, stay awesome and cool, and go and mod one of your pedals, because it's a lot of fun.